Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Sixx Daze. I am Bob Sixx, and despite all of the things that have gone wrong for me today, telling me do not shoot, here I am. I'm going to do it because I want to do it, and I feel I need to do it. Today, I'm readdressing my most popular video to date, which is the one on corporal punishment, both at home and in school. The reason I'm readdressing this one is, number one, when I first shot it is back when I first started, and I was not the least bit concerned about YouTube's rules. I just knew if I shot a good video, it would take off and I'd become a superstar. I was very naive. I keep saying now, and you'll know why in a minute. Also, the reason I'm readdressing it is exactly what I was just doing, that and I watched the video to see what I needed to fix. Number one thing was I just shot from the hip. I didn't rehearse it. I didn't have any kind of cliff notes, nothing like that, or bullet notes. I just got in front of the camera, turned it on, and did my thing. So there's a lot of while I was trying to collect my thought. I'm going to redo this one past this point without all those The third reason I wanted to redo it is a lot of people contacted me, and either they totally disagree with me, which is fine. If you do, that's fine. I want to hear your reason or how you feel. I want to hear that. I either left out some things or they're kind of cloudy and they weren't real sure, so I want to go back over that. So first, let me start at the beginning. The reason I'm the way I feel about corporal punishment, number one, as I know it is an effective form of discipline. So I'm not that guy. I'm not against spanking. I am against abuse, like spanking your child with a belt, or more accurately what I got, which was being beat. My biological father would beat us with the belt. I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me. It's the way it was in the 70s. That's how it went. A lot of people, other adults, just saw that as just good parenting. But here's the thing. When you get beat all the time with a belt, it loses its effectiveness after a while. You start telling yourself, it's going to beat me anyways. I might as well just do what I want to do. So spanking your kids constantly, every time they screw up for every little thing with a belt, not only is it actually abuse, it's not a good idea because it loses its effectiveness. Here's something to keep in mind with a belt when you're spanking your child. If you hit anybody else with a belt, an adult, someone else's kid, and someone sees you, that's considered assault, and you can go to jail. So if you hitting me with a belt can get you sent to jail, hitting your child with a belt should carry the same thing. It doesn't make it not assault. That being said, I do firmly believe in corporal punishment up to a certain age, which is the age of 8. Because your child's developmental years, where they're going to develop habits that they're going to have for the rest of their lives, goes up until the age 8. That doesn't mean they won't learn anything new, they won't change or anything like that, but their core traits develop. That's the developmental years. So if you correctly discipline them and teach them respect, and that with every consequence, with every action there is a consequence. With every action there is a reaction. So you can't commit a negative action and expect a positive, like a high five. Hey, Timmy, way to bust the window out of the bathroom. They have to learn that stuff. So you need to teach them. A big thing is teach them to make choices. I see so many parents who pick what their children wear every day, that pick what their children will eat every day. Bob did that to us, and that's why. Why are you going to force your child to eat something they don't want or they don't like? I'm not saying when your kid's not hungry and you go, oh, I don't like that, or something they have never tried. But if they tried it, like liver was a big thing when I was a kid. They made us eat liver. Not all the time, but that was gross. Why would you do that to your child? So with teaching them to make decisions, even though in the beginning they're limited decisions, like me and my wife would hold up 2 sets of clothes. Which one do you want to wear? Even though it's a limited choice, they're learning to make decisions. Do you want to eat this or this? Not go pick whatever's in the cabinet. This or this. So you raise your child making decisions. No matter how minor they are, they're learning to make decisions. So if you teach them with, raise them up and get them instilled with making decisions, they're good decision makers. You teach them respect and discipline. There should not be the problems at school. I understand there are exceptions to every rule. And yes, there will be bad kids, despite the best upbringing and the best parents. That's just humans, and that's the way it goes. But on average, you'll raise good kids. Both of my kids are amazing. We didn't pick their classes in school. They knew they had to graduate. They knew what they needed to take to graduate. Both of my kids, straight A students, they both graduated. We didn't sit there picking your classes. You know, I used to see when we go register, a lot of parents picking their kids' classes they didn't want to do. So you're making them take something, regardless if you think it's good for them or not. You're making them take something they don't want. So what are the odds they're going to try? Let's look at that a little different way. When your boss says, hey, John didn't show up today, so I'm going to need you to go plunge the toilets. You don't like that, do you? You still do it, but you don't like it. So it's kind of the same thing. It just lasts a whole lot longer when you're forcing them to take classes they don't want to take, and it affects their future. Just saying, you do what you want to do. This is just my opinions and my thoughts. So, now, one more thing. There are alternative punishments. For example, my kids, one time, as great as I got along, they were really getting after each other one day. So I said, you know what? Y'all go out and pick up dog shit as a team. This will give you a visual representation of how you're treating each other. So one of you hold the bucket, the other one scoop up the shit. I had went outside to say something to my wife while they were out there, and my son started complaining about it not being fair or whatever. And I said, hey, let me tell you what. If you don't stop complaining, I'll take away the shovel and you can just use your bare hand, which instantly stopped the complaining. My wife told me later that when I went back in the house, he informed her that I was too country because that's just gross. But it worked. Very minimal problems as far as my kids getting on each other after that. So, in school, that seems to be the number one thing that's getting people worked up. I know things get out of hand in school or in any kind of thing where someone else is in charge of disciplining your child. I'm very aware of that. But corporal punishment, and in school, I've told you to discipline your kids up to about 8, but in school, I think it should go up to about junior high, right about time puberty kicks in. Because my last spanking was in junior high, and I never forgot it, and I never did what I had done to get the spanking again. And it was one lick. I was in Texas history, and it was a big room, but they put a divider between it, one of those big accordion walls. So there's about this much space under it. And one day a pencil came under, and I kicked it back, and it came back. So we started playing this game. Next thing you know, notes are passing. And there were 4 of us involved, but, 4 on my side, 4 on the other side. 2 of us on my side got caught, and 2 on the other side got caught. I guess it is those of us by the wall. I didn't ask the other guys where they were at. But Mr. Wolf and the other teacher takes us outside, and he asks, do you want to handle it here, or do you want to go to the office? I said, here. He goes, all right. How many licks do you want? And I, as I said, was severely abused at home. I could take an ass whooping. I was about to say 3. But somebody cut me off and said 1. Mr. Wolf said, okay. That should have been red flag number one, that this was going to suck. I went first, and when he said, turn around, put your hands out, and brace yourself against the wall, that should have been red flag number two. Because I'm not joking and I'm not exaggerating. He wound up like a major league pitcher pitching a ball. Sidearm, that submarine style. I'm the only one out of the four that didn't cry. I wanted to. I cannot tell you how bad it hurt. But I can tell you, I am so thankful I did not say 3. I couldn't have taken 3 of those. But we never did it again. Corporal punishment works. And I'm not saying to that degree. My answer to all the people that were kind of iffy on my response or not agreeing with it or my opinion about corporal punishment in school, here's how I feel about it. I've told you how long it should go on, until about junior high. But all spankings should be videoed, not for showing in case they have to go to court as proof. There's no denying what you see on video. There should be a police officer as a witness. Almost all schools have a police officer on campus now. Well, junior high, high school, if they do here anyways. And, well, this high school, I don't think our junior high does here, but I know others, a few towns over they do. And a representative from CPS. I don't think there should be 2 or 3 teachers from school witnessing. It needs to be outside sources. So a police officer, regardless of all your silly stuff about cops and they're out to get us, they're not. So that's just silly. But a police officer, a CPS representative, and videotaping. That pretty much guarantees the spanking will not get out of hand. If it does, the person who does it will be held accountable. The video, before anybody goes, well, they could do, the video needs to be a direct feed to somewhere off site, off of campus, so that they have no access to it, nothing can be monkeyed with. You're going, well, that's expensive. Your child is worth that. So I do feel that corporal punishment up to a certain age should still exist in schools, because I know it worked a lot for me. Some of the teachers that were kind of wimpy with their spankings, that didn't work on me. But Mr. Wolf, he worked. So that's my answer to all that. Well, I don't want somebody else spanking my kid. As long as it's done correct. Because if your kid knows, well, they can't spank me, they're going to act up. Or they can't do anything to me, they're going to act up. My mom and dad's got my back. Now, if someone neglects or abuses, would have when my children are in school, I assure you, they would have known they messed up. So I am not saying just let your guard down, let somebody else have it all. You watch your children. I watch mine. I'll watch my granddaughter. I accept nothing even a little sketchy. So I just wanted to clear that up. I'm not saying just let the school just do whatever they want to do. So to help avoid or ease or minimize corporal punishment, you've got to discipline your child at home. Teach them respect. Teach them self-respect. Teach them that there will be repercussions when you mess up. Not all the time. Not to that degree. Not spanking all the time. But something is going to happen. You're not just getting away with this scot-free. And the big thing I see a lot of parents do is stick to your word. If you say you're going to throw something away, throw it away. I don't care what it is. I live life by the rules of baseball. In my home, you get 3 strikes. On that 3rd strike, there's going to be some repercussions. We almost never reach strike 3. And it's because it started young. We don't spank with the belt. We do not over spank or get carried away like that at all. We didn't do it with our children. We don't do it with our granddaughter. But as long as they know there will be some repercussion for their actions, more often than not, they respond accordingly. So, all nice and a little bow, I do feel corporal punishment is effective. It's a proven fact. I do not think it should be old school punishment, the beatings that most of us got in the 70s. And I think if you set the core values at home, your child's less likely to have to worry about corporal punishment at school anyways. You know, there's a whole bunch of guys in prison, their mamas didn't spank them. Just saying, it's a fact. I do appreciate y'all hanging out. If you've made it this far, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button right there. Click that bell so that you know every time I post a video or I go live. That's something new I've started doing. I try to post twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, and I try to go live when I can. So thank you for being here. Have a great day. Make someone laugh if you can. I am Bob Sixx.